We are live. Good morning, everyone. It is a Monday morning. It's time to rise and shine and be thankful for one more day above the ground and the ground's, of course, not above you. So, having said that, it is time to rise and shine if you can. Good morning to you. Time to go to work.
We changed the world and history right here where we're from. It's new beginning to you and me, cause we're not done. In our city, in our city, in our city, we're not done. I appreciate that.
Good morning. It's time to rise and shine one more time. Again, you're on top of the ground and the ground's not on top of you. We call this little thing we do decisions because everything we do requires us to make one. And when we don't make one, well, guess what we just did? And we made one. Just remember, though, the decisions that we make now have consequences later. So be wary of the things you decide. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions. We call it that because we all make them. Anyway, we got a special treat for you today. Our armed forces song is going to be sung by McMillan Elementary School today. I went out there, my granddaughter had a program out there, and they did a fantastic job. So fantastic that I want to share it with the city. So we'll be back after our daily bread because we have to. Well, you know, we got to go to our daily bread. Okay. Interesting. But we shall return uno momento after our daily bread and with other things. But hey, whatever you do, don't miss the McMillan Elementary School people. I present them to you today as the deliverers of our armed forces salute song. All right, so hang loose. We'll be back. Next up, it is our daily bread.
Those whose lives are rooted in a right relationship with God will blossom. Hi, and welcome to another word of encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading is titled Fruitful to the End, and it was written by Arthur Jackson. Although Lenore Dunlop was 94 years young, her mind was sharp, her smile was bright, and her contagious love for Jesus was felt by many. It wasn't uncommon to find her in the company of the youth of our church. Her presence and participation were sources of joy and encouragement. Lenore's life was so vibrant that her death caught us off guard. Like a powerful runner, she sprinted across life's finish line. Her energy and zeal were such that just days before her death, she completed a 16-week course that focused on taking the message of Jesus to the peoples of the world. The fruitful, God-honoring life of Lenore illustrates what's seen in Psalm 92, verses 12 through 15. This psalm describes the budding, blossoming, and fruit-bearing of those whose lives are rooted in a right relationship with God. The two trees pictured were valued for their fruit and wood, respectively. With these, the psalmist captures a sense of vitality, prosperity, and usefulness. When we see in our lives the budding and blossoming fruit of loving, sharing, helping, and leading others to Christ, we should rejoice. Even for those who may be labeled senior or seasoned, it's never too late to take root and bear fruit. Lenore's life was deeply rooted in God through Jesus and testifies to this and to God's goodness. Ours can too. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Psalm 92, verses 12 through 15. The righteous will flourish like a palm tree. They will grow like a cedar of Lebanon. Planted in the house of the Lord, they will flourish in the courts of our God. They will still bear fruit in old age. They will stay fresh and green, proclaiming, "The Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no wickedness in him." Now, let's pray. Dear Lord, what an awesome example of leaving behind an impactful legacy like Lenore. And we thank you for inspirational stories like hers that remind us to keep planting seeds and bearing fruit, the kind that will last for all eternity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
And like I said, today we are going to have a salute to our armed forces, and it is going to be presented by Macmillan, my granddaughter. They had a thing out there the other day for veterans. They did it on Friday, and I just want to thank. Listen, I that school out there is something else. The staff looks. I mean, it was a great experience. I don't really say many great things about Montgomery Public School, but listen, it just goes to show you that you get out of kids what you expect, and if you expect more, they'll give you more. And what I saw the other day did warm my soul. That gave me hope for tomorrow. That there are people. I was just about my granddaughter, whose name is Scarlett. As a matter of fact, with my grandson, whose name is Chosen, Scarlett and Chosen. That's an interesting name. But anyway, we are going to let you hear them. They did salute to the armed forces, and it was absolutely for people and people who've never been in, and nice kids out there. It was absolutely fantastic. So I am going to allow you to hear those great kids this morning. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to use this one for my salute to the armed forces from now on, because it is done just that well. Just that well. I got to tell you, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I got to call Dr. Z up and tell him, hey, keep up the good work. Although those schools have always been pretty decent out there, though. But it was really nice to hear them. And evidently, they did a lot of work on this song. So we're going to let you hear them. Yeah, Dr. Joe, we'll get to that in a little bit here. Also, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, our Councilman Arande Mitchell, a little bit of controversy going on over there. A couple of appointments he wants to do on one of our boards, so we'll talk to him about that and stuff like that. But right now, we are going to play the Salute to Our Armed Forces, presented to you by none other than Macmillan Elementary School. Man, one more time. And we had to get the Marines in here. Our own Macmillan Elementary School. Okay, that's enough of that. We're going to do it every morning, so we give them. But anyway, did you hear the precision in those kids out there? I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. I was glad I went. Normally, I don't go to these things, but I think my granddaughter and grandson, they'd been actually ticked off if I didn't show up, since their mama asked me to be there like for 2 weeks in a row, and I didn't. I couldn't say I forgot. So, and it was a pleasant experience out there. Now, on Mondays, I normally play something that is thought provoking, and today is no different. But and I don't know if I'm going to play the whole thing, but I am going to play this. Have you ever heard of Ravi Zacharias? Ravi Zacharias is a apologist, a Christian apologist, but who has a unique way of dispersing the word. And since I did go to church yesterday, I mean, it's not like it's my first time in there. I mean, I go to church all the time. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a little bit of time for that stuff to stick, but I'm working on it. But anyway, this guy's name is Robbie. Maybe I should do this tomorrow, because I got a guest coming on at 8 o'clock. Arande Mitchell is coming on at 8 o'clock. I don't know. Anybody want to hear that? It's about the question. It's the age-old question. I'm just going to play some of it. It's the age-old question. If God knows everything we are going to do, everything we have done, then do we really have a choice? Okay, really? I mean, do we have a choice? And Ravi Zacharias takes this question on before we get to Shamari and Dr. Joe. I'll see that. Before we really take I'm just going to put half up today, half up tomorrow, and so we can get on to other things. Okay, but this is an interesting thing. Also, our sponsor of today is One Stop Wireless at 334-320-2988 at 3445 Atlanta Highway, on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard, right next to the gas station right there. They're hooked to the same building, as a matter of fact. So if you have a phone that you've had a long time, it's been off, they can cut it back on for you. They can do all kinds of things. Let's say they got phones for $25, and even they got some phones out there if you're on a certain program, SNAP and I think VA pension or something like that. You can get the phone almost absolutely nothing. But anyway, give them a call. And again, if you got a phone in the house already that used to belong to somebody else, you can take it to them and they can probably get your phone cut back on for you. Okay, I'm just saying you might want to think about doing that. And again, it is One Stop Wireless, 334-320-2988, 3445 Atlanta Highway, the corner of Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. Okay, so again, our special guest today. Do we have free will? We're not going to play the whole thing, but it's an interesting question. And if we do, then if God knows everything before it happens, then how do we have free will if it's already known what we're going to do? It's an interesting question. My brain is too small to figure that one out. But Ravi Zacharias, he's trying to explain it. I don't know if he's doing a good job or not of it, but we shall see. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Ethan Kaiser. I am a scientist and an atheist. And my question is, since the Bible has been scientifically disproven as far as all the claims, the theory of evolution, archaeology, Noah's Ark, Adam and Eve, since we know this didn't happen because of our science nowadays, my question is, how do we have, according to the Bible, how do we have free will if God is this omniscient being that knows everything about us, everything we will do, and he pretty much knows our outcome before we're even created? So he creates us knowing everything we'll do. Since we can't surprise him by our actions, we have no free will. Our choices have been predetermined, and that the act of judgment is completely immoral because he knows what we're going to do. Nothing can surprise him. That's my question.
Thank you for the question. And before you go into an auditorium, if you give a sheet of paper and ask us to write 20 possible questions, that'll come. We've never heard a new one in all of these years that go by. They're pretty much the same questions. It's interesting that you began by saying, as an atheist, all of this has been disproved, and so you live with scientific materialism as your worldview. I studied under John Polkinghorne at Cambridge University. You probably know the name. One of the world's leading quantum physicists who came to exactly the opposite conclusion you did, while being the dean at Queen's College, Cambridge, as a quantum physicist, taking the same data you did. So obviously, for a man of his intellectual ability to come to a different conclusion, one would either have to say he's totally stupid to come to that conclusion, or else his empirical basis. Please don't keep shaking your head. Let me finish so that you can come and talk afterwards. So you'll allow us to concentrate what we're saying here. I want to read for you what David Berlinski says about the scientific naturalistic worldview. Do you know who he is? No. One of the world's leading physicists who is an agnostic, borders on atheism, but took issue with Richard Dawkins's book, The God Delusion, and wrote a book called The Devil's Delusion. Here's what he said. Has anyone ever provided proof for God's inexistence? Not even close. Has quantum cosmology explained the emergence of the universe or why it is here? Not even close. Have the sciences explained why our universe seems to be fine-tuned to allow for the existence of life? Not even close. This is Berlinski talking. Are physicists and biologists willing to believe in anything as long as it is not religious thought? Close enough. Has rationalism and moral thought provided us with an understanding of what is good, what is right, and what is moral? Not close enough. Has secularism in the terrible 20th century been a force for good? Not even close to being close. Is there a narrow and oppressive orthodoxy of thought and opinion within the sciences? Close enough. Does anything in the sciences or in their philosophy justify the claim that religious belief is irrational? Not even in the ballpark. Is scientific atheism a frivolous exercise in intellectual contempt? Dead on. Now, I didn't say that, all right? I'm not quoting myself. Please give me your name, sir. Ethan?
Yes.
Ethan, what you're wrestling with is not uncommon. Many people from a scientific and materialistic worldview will say what you've said and come to that conclusion. The problem is what you mispositioned was your concern between determinism and free will. Your application could have gone in many different directions, but you came to that one for some reason, which I was unfortunate, I think. At Cambridge, I listened to a talk at the Lady Mitchell Hall in 1990 by Stephen Hawking. As you know, he can't speak, he uses a speech synthesizer. His whole talk was on determinism and freedom. And you know what he concluded? That the tragedy with scientific materialism, if we take its assumptions, is that we are not free, we are totally determined. That was the world's leading physicist at that time saying, the very thing you're asking of the Christian faith, he pinned on your backs as scientific materialists. You can go right online and trace it. Lady Mitchell Hall, 1990, somewhere around March, April, May, that time I was in attendance. And he said, the only escape I have is since I don't know what has been determined, I may as well not be. The whole auditorium moaned and groaned with an escape hatch that he gave for himself after telling us that we were completely determined. That's Berlinski's issue. That is actually even what people like Dawkins will concede, or Pinker, you read Steven Pinker and the others. So totally determined. So the question is, were you free to ask this question? Yep.
I don't believe any of us actually have free will because we are strictly material.
So you're actually, as a machine automaton, asking me this question?
We are all made up of our past experiences.
Okay, but you're not free then. You're not free. You're not making a truth statement.
My true statement. I mean, what I'm saying is our memories and our states.
No, hear me carefully.
Okay.
If you're totally determined,
Yes.
you're pre-wired to think the way you do.
Nature versus nurture. Yes.
Sorry?
Nature versus nurture.
Nature versus nurture.
Yes.
Regardless, the nurture may provide a different environment, but the nature is you're hardwired to come out with a certain conclusion. Out of flux, nothing but flux. You know, what you put into the computer, ultimately is going to come out. But you have to ask yourself, are you making a truth claim? If you are making a truth claim, you're rising above the bondage of total subjectivity. And the moment you claim a truth claim, you're violating determinism. And so I just leave you with that, and let's meet afterwards. Hey, Ethan, we want to chat with you. You know, you're the kind of guy we come here for. So afterwards, you come here and we'll chat with you. Come here, give me a shake hand. Bless you, brother. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. You know, I live in a condominium where there's so much of noise that sometimes goes on, and I phoned the property manager and said, you know, when I write, even the sound of anything distracts me. And so she said, play some music. I said, what? You know, so that's why I'm sorry if I checked you on the shaking of the head. If I get distracted, I can't stay on track. You know, so my apologies on that.
There are people that I've talked to or heard that they'll say science has always been closing the gap between what we know and what we don't know. And before science became so relevant to our lives and so advanced, people used God to fill those gaps. For instance, very early on when thunder would happen, because they didn't know really what thunder was, they would attribute it to the gods. So people read the Bible the same way. They'll say demon possession. They didn't know what schizophrenia was, or they didn't know what epilepsy was, so they attributed it to demon possessions. And eventually, our knowledge of science will grow to such an extent it'll close all the gaps, and there is no need for God. How do you respond to that?
I don't know.
Okay, thanks everybody for coming. That's great.
I asked Joe if I could also make an opening statement so that you know how these questions are going to be answered. And then I will take the gaps of metaphysics and all other disciplines over against a scientific single vision, which is what that proposition is talking about. There's a funny story I often tell of these two guys who are talking to each other, and one fellow says to him, I'm a little bit thirsty, and so I'd like to make a bet with you. I'd like to ask myself a question, and if I answer it, why don't you buy me a Coke?
What we need to do is finish this tomorrow, because it is a long segment, but it is an interesting question that I've always been interested in whether or not we whether or not we have free will, and how free will is explained. Again, when you say free, you're saying that we are in control of our thoughts, our processes, or the things we decide we want to do now and in the future. Somebody once said that if you want to make God laugh, tell him what your plans are. That's right, because we don't know. We don't have a clue. But anyway, we'll play the second half of that tomorrow, because it goes for about 20 minutes, and I wouldn't want to bore you guys. I mean, I'm fascinated with the subject myself, because a lot of us go to church on Sundays, and we believe things because people say, well, okay, this is the way it's supposed to be. But anyway, now the one guy said that the Bible's been disproved. Well, my hands are not that big to I cannot make such a concrete conclusion based on my limited knowledge, my limited mental abilities. I can't say that the Bible's been disproven. I can say you've been disproven, but I can't say the Bible's been disproven. I don't know. But hey, some people get big ones, and I got small ones. So I'm never gonna fight with God on that one. Anyway, good morning to you. I hope everybody's doing okay this morning. Come up 8:00. We got Mr. Arande Mitchell, one of our local city councilmen, going to join us via the virtual studio. But until then, we have time to talk about whatever you want to talk about this morning. One of the things that we found out in the news over the weekend. Well, first of all, I don't know why the Automobile Dealers Association of Alabama endorses Steve Marshall for the U.S. Senate. We all know that's the way to get to the Senate, is to become, that's just the way things are. Since Tommy Tuberville has decided that he's going to run for governor, and so he's going to give up that seat. So we're gonna see if we are going to see if Steve Marshall can actually win that one. Okay. Now, it seemed like and all the Democrats. Okay, wait. Let me tell you something what's funny about this. The whole time the Democrats were saying that the Republicans are keeping the government shut down. You remember those lies that would tell that Republicans are keeping the government shut down. Okay. And now they're mad at the Democrats for getting together, the few that got together and said, okay, let's open the government. So again, who was keeping the government closed? They inerrantly have admitted that they were the ones who were keeping the government shut down. Matter of fact, Terry Sewell didn't want it open. Okay, but now you didn't hear all that when the negotiations were going on. Of course not, because Democrats, in my mind, and you can agree with me if you want to, I don't care, but make me a good argument. In my mind, they only fight for things if those things keep us tethered to them. And the word tethered means connected. Okay, it's like a rowboat being tethered to a tethered to a cruise ship, okay? Because he can't go anywhere on his own power. So tethering gives you power of somebody else. And we are tethered, black folks for the most part, are tethered to the Democratic Party because when they fight, they only fight for things that keeps us tethered to the philosophy and the personhood of most Democrats. Those Democrats don't give a crap about you. It's like when they fight for minimum wage. Well, fighting for minimum wage doesn't help anybody. Minimum wage been going on forever. Yeah, and every time minimum wage goes up, every exact time minimum wage goes up, guess what goes up? That's right. Absolutely everything goes up. So minimum wage is a illusion. It gives you the illusion that you are actually going to make more money. That is a bunch of bull crap if I ever heard one. Okay, you don't make more money because minimum wage goes up. Everything else goes up. So any raise that you would have gotten, any money that you would have gotten, well, the taxes goes up on your wage. Okay, that's why it doesn't make any difference what minimum wage is. Most of it, if you got a minimum wage job, you will never get ahead. Never. Okay, unless you're in high school and you're living at home and you're not paying rent any place, then you might have a shot at it. But other than that, as a grown person trying to take care of a family, forget minimum wage. Okay, you need to negotiate. You need to negotiate. And I cannot believe here in Alabama that we actually have people still offering. I was looking in the on ads the other day for my little part-time job, and people still talking about paying you $8 an hour. What can a brother do at $8 an hour? Seriously. And that's before taxes. So what in the world? Listen, the minimum wage in America, it won't do no good, but it'll look good, ought to be $20 an hour. Took me a long time to get, and everything's going to go up. I know everything's going to go up the minute it goes up. But listen, let's play along with the illusion. Okay? Give me $20 to play with. Let's play with but if you're living at home and you don't have rent to pay and you don't have all that kind of stuff to pay, or you're just a retiree, hey, you can go places on $20 an hour, not too far, but you can go a couple of places. But anyway, moving right along. If you let me get this thing out. I keep forgetting that my thing right here. There we go. Okay, that's the number to the show. So if you totally disagree with me, but we're going to do part 2 of that Ravi Zacharias on tomorrow because it is an interesting subject. I don't have the answers to it, but if God knows everything we are going to do, and I got the Catholics on come Thursday. So if God knows everything we're going to do we have free will? Okay, at least to the extent that I understand what the word free and will means. And once they're put together, do I understand the contextual relationship between the two words, free and will? So we'll figure that out as we go along. Moving right along. Shamari Figures said, we don't need porch puppies. Shamari Figures rips his party's leadership for caving to GOP on the shutdown. So even Shamari got up there. He's part of I like me some Shamari Figures. Even though he's a Democrat, I like him. But even he's agreeing now that the Democrats kept the government closed. And they kept trying to say that it was the Republicans who kept the government closed. See, that's the lies they tell people who don't know what's really going on. Okay, the newest member of Alabama's congressional delegation isn't pleased with his party's leadership, declaring it was incredibly frustrating, incredibly disappointing that some of his Democrat colleagues in the U.S. Senate voted with Republicans to reopen the federal government. So in that statement right there means right there, they were keeping the government shut down. U.S. Representative Shamari Figures from Mobile said the Democrats needed the big dogs, not porch puppies, referring to the Democrats. Well, so now we know. And the problem with these guys is that you don't know anything about it until after it's over, because they always lie to us. Always lie to us. Always, always, always. Whine. Listen, I'm not whining. I'm just telling it where it is. Your mind is limited. It is. My mind is limited to reason, logic, and common sense. Right. I can do without two of those. I can do without two. Excuse me. I can do without one of those, but I at least have to have two. Okay, logic, reason, and common sense. Okay, you got to. One, common sense may be missing. Okay, maybe we can still get there some kind of way. But if we're missing two of those elements, then we can't have a conversation because your mind is gone dormant. Okay, yeah. And again, Pork Chop Brown wants to raise the minimum wage. Well, and it ought to be $20 an hour. But let's not. Here's the problem. Again, I just told you about minimum wage. Minimum wage means nothing. It really doesn't, unless you're living at home with mama. But if you're a grown person out there trying to make a living, then minimum wage just doesn't mean anything, because everything goes up 2 days after the minimum wage does. So there has to be. Now I know I'm gonna sound like a communist here. I know I am. I'm going to sound like a communist here or a socialist, and I don't mean to sound that way, but there has to be some protection for people on limited incomes. There has to be some protection. Like the other day, reading in the paper yesterday, all the rent is going up for apartments. So where in the hell are people supposed to stay? And what I can't understand, why not raise it to 300 or 40? I'll get to that in a second. But I believe now. I know I don't want to live in New York, but I'm almost ready to go for rent freezes. Rent freezing. This is crazy, because you're not making any more money, but they're taking your rent, and all these corporations and these investors now getting involved, and an investor don't care nothing about what is the return. What is the return on my money? And the only way you can get a better return is charge more money. So, there has to be, if I'm getting $500 a month, because older people, real old people, I'm an older person too, but real older people did not get a chance, especially black folks, didn't get an opportunity. My mother's 90 years old, 80 years old, didn't get an opportunity to make money like they should have been given back in the day. So Social Security is all they got, and now they deserve the SNAP program. They the ones who deserve the SNAP program. So, but how do we survive? How do they survive if we keep going? Rent keeps going. The average rent now is $1,200. Who can? Hell, after a while, everybody's gonna need what's that thing they give people now to help pay the rent? I need one of them myself. What's that? Section 8? Is that what that is? Section 8? I think. Yeah, everybody's going to need that. So who in the hell is going to be able to afford to stay in the place? And say, why not raise it to 300 or 40? Well, my example, that an hour, because it's an illusion. The minute it goes up to $40 an hour, everybody in town across this nation is going to raise all their prices. Rent's going to go sky high. Groceries going to go sky high. Everything is going to go sky high. And you know they're going to blame it on? First of all, they're going to blame it on transportation. Oh, well, I got to pay the guy who drives my truck more money now because it's because rent's going. So because I got to pay him more money, I got to take my transportation cost up. The transportation cost goes up to get it to the store. So the store says, well, we got to raise our price too, because, we got that minimum wage going up. So now I'm paying the truck driver more money to deliver it. I'm paying my people more money to sell it. And so now it's a spiral that never ends. So I do have the solution to the problem. I have the solution to the problem. Okay? That's right. The President of the United States ought to call it an economic emergency. No prices on goods and services can go up from where they are right now. At least 18 months. I know, sounds communistic. I feel you. But we got to do something. or else everybody's gonna be standing out there on the sign with a sign in their hand. I love capitalism, but capitalism is a uncaring. Um, it's an uncaring thing. Doesn't care if you got to pay more money. Doesn't care if you only get $500 a month. It doesn't care. So when we take the human element out of determining if people are going to survive or not, then we cannot leave everything to capitalism. I'm sorry. It works for some, but some it don't work. Okay, especially 84. I think when you get a certain age in this country, let's say 75 years old, you know what? That's all. You probably won't be getting another job. Okay, you probably won't be getting another raise, and even if you do get a raise, everything is going to go up too. So I don't know. I'm just I love capitalism. Gives everybody the possibility of being successful, regardless of your station in life. I would give you that. It's probably the only system of finance or economics where you can, if you come up with a great idea and you're willing to put in the work, it seems like to me that you can be successful in this country. Absolutely. But what happens to the people who were here before you, who didn't get all these opportunities to do these things? And again, if you're going to school taking dumb curriculums up, if you're going to school taking up dumb things like gender studies, if you ain't figured out what a male and a female is by the time you get to college, you're in the wrong school or they got the wrong student. Okay. We need to start taking things up that get us jobs. Okay. And unfortunately, Camilla, I don't normally agree with you, but you're absolutely right. Greed. Okay. Greed does run our economy. Now, there are some positives with greed. I know it's hard to but there are positives in greed. Greed also produces more goods and services. Okay, I want to make more money, which means I got to sell more things, which means I got to hire more people in order to do these things. I got to fund research and development. I have to fund transportation. So greed is not necessarily all bad. Okay, but it is. We want to make more money. We want to make more things. Okay. I want to see who this is. What's up there, Duke?
Good morning, Elk.
Good morning.
Did your football team win the weekend, man?
Well, Notre Dame won.
Did your other one in Alabama win?
Well, I mean, listen, Alabama took it on the chin. They thought they had won the game before the game was over. So, hey.
I know you're just a bandwagon fan of the Bama, so that's the reason I call you out on that one a little bit. Why are you complaining about?
Hold on a second. Let me put this guy on hold here quick. Okay, now go ahead. Why I'm complaining about what?
Why are you complaining about how why things are so hot nowadays? Why are you complaining? I mean, the Republicans running everything, and your philosophy team and everything's supposed to have everything back in order. Your president said everything would be down from day one. All the prices would be nice and sweet. Day one in our office. What happened?
The man's been in office 11 months. You can't undo 4 years of crapola in 11 months.
Oh! No, what I've been hearing since he's been in.
What's that?
He been pointing the finger at just like you breaking up with your wife. Okay, your wife. You gonna blame Jody for things, how things turn out with you and your wife, or you gonna blame yourself for not being the man you're supposed to be?
How about a little?
Oh, you gonna blame Jody? You continue to blame Jody. Biden is Jody right now. Here, he's the other man.
Wait a minute.
Okay, you the man in charge right now. That's your woman now, so you gotta take care of your woman.
I hear you, bro.
The United States is Trump woman right now.
Yeah.
So this bitch you got to deal with. Okay, so
I agree. I agree. When you take the job, you take all that comes with it. I mean, like the mayor.
There you go. Don't put no butt in. I don't want no butt either. Come on.
There are circumstances.
I knew you were gonna say but.
There are circumstances.
No, Biden didn't have nothing to do with this terrorist mess Trump got in there piddling around with and got everything
I'm
high
all
as
right
hell
with
right now.
I'm all right
Stuff
with the tariffs.
regularly going up, dude.
I'm all
It's
right with the
regularly
tariffs.
going up
Yeah,
now.
I'm all right with the tariffs. They need to start bringing this stuff back here and making it anyway. I leave that crap
I
over.
know, but who's paying for it? Who's
But
paying for this
we don't have to
mess?
buy it.
This fight he's having.
We don't have to buy iPhones. We don't have to buy the crap that comes.
We don't have to buy groceries.
We can.
We don't have to pay light bill. We don't have to rent, like you said. What you talking about rent going up for? You know why it's going up?
Because they're greedy. That's why it's going up.
Huh? It's going up because they have to. Nope. They like every other business. They got to pay a little bit more to make it work. So because of the Trump tariffs and all that. Come on now, talk to me, baby boy.
Yeah, they go up because they go up because they're greedy.
Why Walmart went up?
Because they're greedy too.
No, Walmart came on TV saying we don't have no choice since Trump did this.
Listen,
that we got to go
everybody's using that excuse.
Hey,
hold on a second. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Oh, let me move on, sir, because you're trying to argue with that one.
Yeah.
Why all of a sudden the old boy have a change of heart? He said, first of all, he said Friday, we're gonna investigate Bill Clinton and the other people for the Epstein file, but his crew said there was nothing to be seen. So why do you want to investigate Bill Clinton? Then he came out yesterday.
I don't care anything about that Epstein thing. I just don't.
Then I know you don't want to talk about it, but anyway, I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
After 100 plus, the Republicans said they was going to sign on to have this thing open. Old Trump came out last night and said, I don't care.
I love you anyway. I don't care about Epstein thing. I don't care about it. When they find something, call me. What's up there, Mr. Marty?
Hey, all right. What's going on with you?
Not much.
Hey, look, look like Trump had to go back on those tariffs, man. We kept trying to tell him, and everybody else was making the point that it was causing these prices to go up.
That's a lie they're using, but that's a lie they're using.
In an unaffordable situation, which ended up turning into a blue wave, and he sees that. So now he's going back and he's reversing all that, which didn't make sense in the first place.
Yes, it did make sense because we sent in our businesses overseas, bringing the stuff back to America, selling it back to us at a higher price.
What good did it do, Kevin?
Well,
you got people
because Americans still want to buy the stuff. Americans still want to buy apples and
Kevin,
and all that kind of crap.
You can't make that make sense, and he realized that too. And his folks end up getting to him and told him that you cannot make that make sense.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Apple has a manufacturing place over there in China. They had to put nets around the base on the floors because people were committing suicide jumping off because they worked the hell out of them so hard.
Kevin,
now, wait. I mean, those iPhones come back to America at a higher price as if they were made here. I wish
Kevin.
I think we ought to make it against the law.
Kevin, if tariff was the answer, they would have done it a long time ago. If it was the answer, trust me, tariff has always been a tool, Kevin, but only used appropriately. Now, I want to say this to you. Yeah. You're talking about he's only been in office 11 months. You keep forgetting he was in office 5 years ago.
And a lot of these policies. Wait a minute, 4 years. 4 years of Biden went in there and undid everything.
Kevin,
first day he got in office.
Kevin, you had 3.5 years of Biden's administration of job growth. Because an unforced error by Trump denying that there was a pandemic, which caused a lot of jobs. To his credit, I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Those years are over. Let's talk about now. Let's talk about right now. Right now.
Well, Kevin, you acting like he's only been president for 11 months. The man been president for 5 years.
He has not.
Technically speaking, he was president 4 years.
That's right.
In December, January, he'll be president.
And when Biden came in office, he took a pen and undid just about every.
Kevin, when Biden came in office, he had to clean this mess up, especially with the tax cut for the richest, which is not serving anybody but the rich folks. That his tax cuts expired this year, and he went on and made it permanent with this big ugly butt bill that he
Let me add something. Let me add something. Now, I hear what you're saying, but poor people. Who do poor people hire?
Who do poor people hire?
Yeah, who do they give jobs to?
Well, I'll put it this way: who died? Who 58,000 soldiers died in Trump's place? If you want to put it that way.
What's that got to do? What's that got to do? What's that got to do?
My thing is, Kevin. Well, I said all that to make the point. It's the poor people and the common people that make America America.
And it always has been. Kevin, but it's the rich people that provide the money.
Kevin, there are more common people than there are rich people. Let rich people try running this country by themselves.
Well,
Let rich folks try serving in the military.
They
giving up
never
their
have
life.
to worry about that because there's always going to be
Kevin,
poor people.
Kevin, yes, and you know what?
And I'm one of them.
By design, that they keep you poor.
Okay.
And dependent on the government. And I would say that because if you're dependent on the government, Kevin, you won't be. I believe.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If the rich people want to deny the poor people, who's going to buy the goods and services that they come up with? That's a bunch of hollycock.
Kevin, I want to say this to you. I have nothing against people being rich or affluent. I have no problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's part of the American dream, capitalism.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing only in America.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue that I have is when you're doing it on the backs of poor people.
It's always been done on the backs of poor people, man.
Does it? If that's the case, Kevin, does it make it right? Are we that Bible country that we talk about, Kevin?
But that's every culture. The poor people always do the work.
Kevin, and I have no issue with people doing what they need to do, but I do have a problem with when you have rich folks that Trump is trying to protect in the Epstein situation. If he's not guilty, he know people are, and he's trying to protect them, Kevin. And Marjorie Taylor Greene and about 100 other Republicans agree with that, and that's why he flipped the script and said, okay, go ahead and vote for the release of the Epstein files.
Yeah, I don't care about it. Do I really care about Epstein? I don't care.
Well, Kevin, if you had a daughter that was involved in that situation, you would care.
I don't.
If you had a niece, or you say, but you don't. But is that the Christian way of looking at things, Kevin?
That's up to that parent of that daughter who was over there, not me.
Yes, Kevin. But so you do you see what I'm saying? Now you flipping the script. It's up to the parent of the daughter who was over there. I don't care. It wasn't me. It's not my problem. But Kevin, the difference between a depression and a recession is when a problem or situation happens to somebody else. But a depression is when it happens to you. And my thing is, Kevin, until it happens to someone you love, you put yourself in somebody else's shoes and everything, you will not understand the sting of it all.
I hear.
And I'm gonna say this, Kevin. I know you're about to kick me off.
True.
Especially with the snap, Trump was willing to take it to the Supreme Court to keep from feeding people with the money that was allocated to do it in the first place.
The Democrats kept it from coming to fruition.
Kevin,
the Democrats.
Trump had the power to feed the people, Kevin, and he decided not to.
Well, what do we learn from that? What do we learn?
Kevin,
we learned that the government.
You know what I learned from that?
The government
shouldn't
depend on the government to feed you.
You could tell the true measurement of a man if you give him power and money, and what he does with it will tell you exactly who he is.
Okay.
And that's his mother said who he was. His niece said this is who he was, or his family member said this is who he is. And you know what?
There were people who talked about Jesus Christ too.
Kevin, you see what I'm saying? Always making a case for wrong.
We're not.
But on Thursday, Kevin, but on Thursday, you're going to have some amen folks, some religious folks come in. You're going to be amen it all over, and then Friday, you're going to be right back to the same thing, Kevin.
Hey, I love you. Bye.
Bye.
Ooh. It's like a ever-ending circle. We keep going around the same places. Okay, same places. I don't know why. Anyway, I'm supposed to have a guest showing up around here in a little bit, wherever Aranda Mitchell is going to be. 521-2963 is the number here. Greed is good. Well, greed does produce some positive things. It does, but it all depends on how you. It all depends on how you use your greed. Okay, 77 million people watch this man in office. That's right. 77 million people wanted him back in office. That's true. They did. So evidently, everybody doesn't agree with you. Okay, what does it say? People, why do people cry? Yeah, to when I'm on the air, isn't on air. I don't know. What damn sacrifice? What sacrifice has he made for this country? You don't think the man almost getting killed, getting shot in the head almost is a sacrifice? He certainly didn't need the money. And again, I don't agree with everything Trump does either. I don't. I don't like the immigration the way we're doing it. Yeah, Don, you must got something awfully important.
Well, listen to these damn economic geniuses. I don't think I take any kind of advice from anybody who lives on the west side of Montgomery. Probably ain't got $1,000 in their damn savings account, but they're going to tell you how to run the country. Hey, when's man, I give it to you coming up with that idea about wage and price control. Where'd you get that?
I think it came from Karl Marx.
And has it worked? When was the last time we tried that?
Well, again, we don't know if it worked.
When did we try it, Kevin?
We haven't tried it. We haven't tried it.
You're a liar. Either you're a liar or you're dumb. Which one are you?
Well, we tried rent.
Go back to Nixon. Nixon did wage and price control. Won't you look and see what happened?
Well, what's your?
When's the last time? Hey, Marty, when's the last time a damn Democrat was ever in a service? How many people died for the great Barack who didn't go to service? How many people gave up their life for Barack? How many, Marty? Stupidity. Man, the stupidity on your station is utterly ridiculous. But you need it before you come up with crap. Look it up. Wage and price control has not done anything but did away with services and goods. Nobody is going to work for free, Kevin. It never works.
Wait a minute. But wood does not complain when it is cut down in the forest. So why in the world?
Oh my God, that makes me want to puke. What has that got to do with
wait a minute. So why does building houses cost more money if the wood?
You know why it costs more money?
Because you pay more labor.
You know why rents are up?
Because people greedy.
Big conglomerates have come in and bought up homes.
Greed.
Or charged rent.
It's
if
greed.
People would have bought their own houses, their rents would have stayed the same.
It's
like
greed.
Yours hadn't gone up, has it?
It's greed.
Has your rent? No, it ain't greed.
It is greed. People want to make more money.
I'd like to see like one of your black folk call in, like Camilla or somebody else. Say they want to go teach for less money.
Yeah.
Any of them ungreedy people want to go work today for less money?
Again, if the wood's
let one black person call in today and say, I want to work for less money for the good.
Answer me this. The trees are standing in the woods.
Stupid.
All right. I appreciate it. The trees are sitting there in the woods. They're not complaining. It's not too cold, not too hot. I can see it. The tree says it's kind of hot out here, so it's going to cost you more money to take me down. But no. The trees are not complaining. So why does the wood cost more? Because somebody is greedy. They want to make more money. And when corporations and investors want to just start buying up houses and stuff like that and selling them for more money, it's all about greed. Okay? I don't care what you say. At the end of the day, everybody who wants to make a quick dollar is greedy. Okay? I don't care what you say. Because trees never complain. They never complain about anything. They just sit out there in the woods, just minding their own business, looking at the sun come up and things of that nature, and that's it. The trees don't complain. Have you ever heard the tree complain? You go out in the middle of the woods right now. There's not one tree out there that's saying, boy, I wish they'd come and cut me down because it's hot out here. No, they're not saying that. Prices go up in America. I don't know about any place else, but pretty much because somebody's greedy. Okay. Oh, Elkins got no concept of okay. I got the concept of my own economics, and I know every time I go to the store, and eggs go up to $5, $6, $7 for 12 of them. I didn't do nothing, so somebody wants to make more money on eggs. Okay, and then they say, well, we got a limited supply of eggs. Okay, so let me ask you a question. It's called supply and demand. That's what it's called. Well, what happens if the guy with the eggs decides he only wants to give us 6 eggs now and he don't want to give us 12 in a carton? He has to supply. He determines the demand. Okay? It's a con. Okay? The chickens don't be complaining about laying eggs. Okay? I've never seen chickens go on strike. Okay, now I've seen them get diseases and things of that nature, and eggs are coming short. Well, so be it, eggs are short. Since when do you have to take the cost of eggs up because we're running out of eggs? Okay. Oh, hey, here's my buddy right here. We'll get back to that conversation later on. Anyway, I guess this morning we have one of my favorite city council people, as a matter of fact, is Mr. Aronde Mitchell. Good morning, Aronde.
Good morning, Kevin. Can you hear me?
I hear you well. I hear you well. I hear you. I hear you. What's going on? You know, you have been a conversation piece recently. You know, in the city of Montgomery, from some things that some moves you was making. But let me ask you one thing before we get to where I got you here. You know, is there anything in the law that says you can only have so many B&Bs or so many liquor stores or so? We don't have anything in the law that says we can only have a limited amount of those things.
We do not, Kevin. So and I did place a 60-day moratorium on liquor stores, not to, I have no problem with liquor stores. I just have the problem with the abundance of liquor stores that we are seeing. And I just want to make sure that they not too much of anything is not good. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure that, first of all, that they are spaced out. Second of all, the hours of operation. I just don't think that it's good to have those liquor stores open, operating 24 hours a day. Outside of, I think, on ABC acquired them to close for a stop sale of alcohol for a certain time going into Sunday. And so we're just looking at it for a safety and an impact on our community standpoint.
Well, that sure sounds really nice. That's sweet. I'm about to cry. Hey, but nobody cared about abortion clinics being next to churches.
I wasn't on the city council at that time, Kevin, so I wouldn't be able to answer those questions.
Okay, I get you. Wouldn't. But you did something last week, or week before last, one of these weeks, that caused a stir in the city council. You made an appointment to a board, and people got the draws all in a tither. What was that all about?
So I had an appointment. Aisha Brooks was on the Montgomery Housing Authority, and she was my appointment. Unfortunately, she had to step down due to the fact that she took a job with the city of Montgomery. So they said it was a conflict. So she stepped down. I spoke to William Boyd probably back in 2019. Mm-hmm. William Boyd said, "Hey, Mr. Mitchell, I have read your story. I have kept up with you." He said, "Nobody would give me an opportunity to do anything here in the city of Montgomery." He said, "If you ever get a board appointment that comes open," he said, "will you appoint me to that board?" And I said, "William, if I have a board that comes open, you have my word, I will appoint you to one of those appointments." So the opportunity came up, and I had the opportunity to appoint Mr. William Boyd. First of all, I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to definitely do it. So my appointment to replace Ms. Brooks is Mr. William Boyd.
And that started a fire someplace. You do have, there are no, from what I understand, because I've been on a couple of boards, there's nothing that would prohibit him, right? Isn't this your call?
Yeah, this is my call. Well, first of all, William was convicted in 2002. You're talking about 20 plus years ago. He received a pardon in 2007. Not only has he received a pardon, but he has his citizenship restored. So that means he's able to vote, he's able to carry a gun, and he's also able to run for public office, which he have did on multiple occasions. Mm-hmm. So I was saying to myself, if he's good enough, if the state of Alabama and the city of Montgomery said that he's fit to be on the ballot, I said, why is he not fit to sit on a board that doesn't pay him? Is very much volunteered. He will have and I think Mr. Boyd has always had the best interest of the city of Montgomery, but sometimes it just don't come out. Like people, it's not politically correct. I put it that way. But he has the passion. And, when I talk to, he's past the board now, but when I talked to Mr. William Boyd, he said, "Mr. Mitchell, I have repent." And when you talk about redemption and you're talking about repent. Do he repent? Only thing he needs to do is repent to God, unless
Right.
it was directly affected you. So Mr. William Boyd shouldn't have to go around the whole state of Alabama, because the state of Alabama gave him a pardon. They mean they forgive him for any crimes that he has done against the state of Alabama. So I just believe in second chances, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but does that mean, okay, so the whole board has to vote on the submitted name?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they decided not to vote on it.
Two council persons, that's Councilor Marsha Johnson and Councilor Julie Beard, decide not to suspend the rules.
And what does that mean for us common people?
So that means that it's just carried over and it'll be on the old business of on tomorrow's agenda.
Okay. So if those two people decide still whether they don't want to vote on it, you I assume you still got enough votes to pass it.
Yes, I should have enough, but Kevin, everything when things get put in the news and people start getting those calls, a lot of people start to waver. I will not waver on this due to the fact I was in a similar situation with Mr. Boyd. Did get into some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I did receive a pardon, and Montgomery Public School System gave me a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
The voters of District 6 gave me a second chance. And I just want to make sure that I always told God, if I get in a position to help anybody, that I was going to do that. So it wouldn't be me to look down on a man that has past transgressions.
And it don't pay. It don't pay anything.
It don't pay anything. And who am I to judge him? I'm in no position to judge Mr. William Boyd. And I hate that we are sending the message that, you can sing, you can dance, you can pick up our trash, and you can pick up our street as a convicted felon. But then when it's time to sit down at the tables, we don't want you.
And Boyd, for all of his some of his methods, I found questionable when I got here, like taking caskets down the city hall. But I just don't have a problem with him because he's always been passionate about that community over there.
Yes, sir.
And one more thing too. Let me digress for a second. Why doesn't the city of Montgomery have anything named after Martin Luther King?
We actually do. On the Northern Boulevard, you have...
Brother, don't nobody even know that's there. Don't nobody even know that's there. Okay, no. In a conspicuous place, why don't we have something that rep a street? We don't have a street in Prattville, one of the podunk places in Alabama. They got a now it's always in the ghetto, but that's okay. They got a street called Martin Luther King. How come we don't have something?
So what I do, Kevin, I will at the next city council meeting, I will talk to the council about moving that MLK Express over there on the Northern Boulevard and see can we put it inside more inside the city limits.
Yeah, let's do it. Because if you're going 55 miles an hour, you want to. Marty, what's up?
Hey, I just want to tell Harunde, great job, very respectable guy that I admire a whole lot. And that's what we need. We need people that stand on convictions, integrity, and believe in giving second chances. He's a good man inside and out. I've been knowing him for several years, and I've always had a lot of respect for him and all. And so for that, I give him accolades. Harunde Mitchell is very passionate about his community. He's very passionate about what he believes in. He's young. He's going to be around for a very long time and everything. So much respect to you for all that you're doing. You're not running for any office or anything. I'm just doing this to give you accolades to let you know, there are people out there that support you because they respect you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And also kudos to you for William Boyd. He's very compassionate about his community. And he's been fighting for a very long time. And like you said, he might be a little bit too assertive and all, but he means well and his heart is good and all. And I can't think of a better person that would be on there that would be able to, to stand up for people and look out for the people that are really in need of those services that they're in. So keep up the good job. Stay healthy. Stay blessed, my brother.
Hey, Marty,
Thank you, sir.
Martin,
Talk.
I'm glad you're a man who believes in second chances. That's why
Oh
we put
Lord.
Trump back in
Oh
for a
my God,
second
man.
chance.
Hey,
Anyway,
yo,
I'm glad you believe that kind of thing. Me too. I believe in second chances. You also, something came across the newspaper the other day about the city of Montgomery is giving one of our councilmen a little change for facade in what's that, Cloverdale over there. It seemed that Mr. What's it, the Szymanski.
Kevin, I did not see that article. Can you send that article to me so I can do my research? I didn't know that, Kevin. I might need to look into that a little more.
Well, you would think that it wouldn't be. He owns a club or something over there, and I
Yeah,
imagine it's from.
he owns a bar. He owns 2 bars. One is newly open. He has I think 2 partners in that one establishment, and the other one is right there on 5 Point Hill. So he had 2 establishments that he owned downtown.
So I'm trying to figure, why would the city even think that we should, that's not a conflict. I mean, a conflict of interest to devil. I think it's some sort of grant or something like that, but I don't know.
Kevin, I'm not aware of it, but I will kind of look into it. I think he applied.
Yeah.
I don't know who actually applied for it, but I'll look into it.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Speak up so we can hear you now.
Alonde.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we hear
Can
you.
you hear?
Yeah.
You can go to 1819 News and get the article yourself.
Yes, and 1819 News is where it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, are you all still have that rule where when you vote on something that you're a business person in the community that you're not supposed to vote on?
I can hear it said. Can you repeat that?
She said, if you do you have a rule? Well, if you have a business or something, you're not supposed to vote on that particular.
Any matter.
Yeah. So I asked.
She couldn't vote on certain things in the city. Have y'all demolished that rule?
No, ma'am. We at one particular situation, he had to end up leaving the meeting. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah, we hear you.
So one meeting that he
his response.
Okay, well, it's going to be a delay, so y'all just keep talking and we'll get to it.
So one meeting he was asked to leave the meeting due to there was a conflict of interest. I have asked the city attorney.
Okay, hold on a second. Whatever you're listening to in the background, Camilla, turn it off and then listen from the phone, because we have a delay and it'll confuse your brain. Okay, which wouldn't be hard to do. Anyway, now what were you saying?
So one meeting.
Do they have the rules still that when you own a business inside the city, can you vote on a matter that concerns that business or enter financial relationship to that business? Because we had this one around when they had a problem when Todd gave the guy help with his facial of the Pink building downtown. We ran through this trial and error before.
Okay, let me ask you a question. She asked, is there a rule where if you have a business in the city and you own city council, should you not be prohibited from getting any money, doing any business with the city, whatever the case may be, if you own the business?
So we do have something in place, and most time we have to get a AG opinion on it, or our city attorney would tell him what he can and cannot vote on, unless it directs him, unless it's going to affect him directly. If it's affect him directly, he cannot vote. He cannot vote on it. I think there's only been one situation that he actually had to just leave the city council meeting and couldn't vote on it when we was doing the hours of operation for bars, lounges, and clubs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good for that. So what else is going on in the city? That we need to know about. I heard the mayor yesterday whining on another show, but about life in general, but like Democrats do, and I don't, and that's the way y'all roll. So, but there are very few things that go on in Washington D.C. that actually impacts us directly. Very few things. Okay. And I don't know why we're so concerned about what happened in Washington, D.C. all the time.
So the good thing about it, we are increasing our sheriff department. Has opened up a new facility out in East Chase that we're gonna put more patrol on the street. We are getting more people to come to the police department. So things are looking up. We also are doing a feasibility study on looking at expanding or getting a convention center here in the city of Montgomery, which we desperately need because people are tired of traveling other places, going to concerts. So things are looking up. The budget passed, and so we're doing some good things in the city of Montgomery, Kevin.
Now, it's my understanding. Now, this is just my understanding. We got about $90 million in the contingency fund sitting back there.
You talking about in our reserve?
Right, in your reserve.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So when we go to the bond, when we need to borrow money, they look at what type of capital you have. So we have enough capital that we gonna be all right, Kevin.
So it's part of that $90 million set aside for the convention center.
So we're looking at it now. So hopefully we will be able to. We need a convention center. So hopefully we will be able to use some of that money for a convention center.
Okay. Do you know how many police officers we actually have on active duty right now?
Kevin, I think last hour's report is going to be about 395.
That high?
I believe so, Kevin.
I heard it was 185.
Oh no, Kevin's no way.
I'm just saying, that's what came down to me, 185. Okay. Do you believe, and this is every time there's crime in this city, we jump on you guys and the mayor, which we know you guys are not responsible for crime, but will you agree that you are accountable to the public for the environment that exists in this city, that this crime happens to seem to permeate? Would you agree with that statement?
So everybody takes responsibility of it. I mean, for the public official,
that's a responsibility. I said you are accountable to us as the citizens of this city about what's going on in the city with crime.
Yeah, I believe that we are accountable, need to be held accountable, because at the end of the day, we are elected to make sure that the public is safe. So yeah, I do feel that we should take full accountability of some of the things that you're seeing here in the city of Montgomery. Even though we cannot stop, but we can kind of combat or curve some of the things that we're seeing. So we have to do a better job. That's with anything.
Okay. One more thing. Every wintertime, we have a hard time finding a place when it gets extremely cold. We have a hard time all these empty buildings we got down here, finding a place for people to go. We use the center downtown on Madison Avenue. We use that. Is there not a place that's available for the city to buy or purchase or rent temporarily during inclement weather that people can go and hang out for a little bit, day or so?
But Kevin, and yes, it definitely is. But the biggest thing is, Kevin, I hear you talk about it all the time. We have a church on every corner. We have a church in walking distance of where all the homeless, where everybody needs somewhere to stay. If those churches, and like my fraternity, we are setting up a warming station on Court Street. If those churches will open their doors, you don't have to let them sleep over. You can let them come in there for 2 hours, 3 hours, warm up, give them a meal, give them a blanket. So we have to depend on some of these churches as well. Some of these nonprofits that getting these grants to have these buildings, open the doors. And like I said, if those churches will open those doors, it'll alleviate some of the things that we are seeing of having so many people that's out on the street or don't have anywhere to go during the daytime or during those inclement weather days.
Okay. Well, we just wonder because, every time it gets cold outside, I know when Thornton used to run it, it ran pretty well, but they had the issues too. Just that
Yes, sir.
we need to be proactive rather than reactive before it gets cold, because it will get cold, maybe only for a couple of days, a week or so, but it is going to get cold, and
Yes, sir.
we need to do something. And people out there, you can always give. So, okay. So one more thing. So the Boyd thing is coming up tomorrow.
Yes, sir. On tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow. Well, I wish you luck on that one. And I
Yes,
think
thank you, Kevin.
I think Boyd is an outstanding for that job. He really cares about his community. We get caught up in the minutia of style sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And forget the style. Can he move the needle? That's the only thing I work, and I think he can move the needle. So I think,
Yes, sir.
Well, I appreciate you standing up
Thank
for
you,
him.
Kevin.
Because
Yes,
that way,
sir.
hopefully, one day you stand up with me. If you see me on the corner with a can, throw something in there for me.
Yes, sir. I will. Thank you, Kevin.
Hey, who
Talk to you later.
that you got in there with you? Let me see who that is.
Oh, nobody. That's
Nobody
just
in
me. No, sir.
I heard voices, man.
Coming in and out.
You ain't in the latrine, are you?
No, sir. So, they just coming in and out my office.
All right. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Kevin. All righty.
All right, then. Appreciate it. I thought that looked like he's in the latrine to me. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Now, let me see what all these saying. Mayor Reed said there are 1,000 police applicants. Okay, well, that's good. All right, that's a good thing. Let me see. Look at the what? Look at the company's bottom line. Are they making a profit? Okay, businesses are in business to make a profit. I ain't got no problem with people making a profit, but I'm gonna use a word that Obama used one day. He said, "How much is enough? How much money is enough?" Now I know Rockefeller said, "I just need a little more," but how much money is enough? You know, I mean, how much? Dr. Joe, how much is enough? Alabama Power make $1 billion in profit. How much is enough? And they're making that $1 billion off of people like me and poor folks like us who, when the weather gets too cold or too hot, then they stick it to us big time. Okay. I got to get somebody else to call. Don, what you want, man?
Is that why we didn't give any money didn't want to give money to Jackson Hospital for the Joel Reed Convention Center?
Well, I don't know.
Hey, let me ask you a question. On Boyd, you know, we heard him yell for they wouldn't let him build his $1 million car lot stuff back there. I think Rhonda helped him get that rezoned to do that. How is that going on building that $1 million building?
Well, I don't know, but the fact that he's building something is a good sign.
What has he built back there?
Well, I don't know.
Well, I've heard for 2 years they wouldn't let him build his $1 million. He had a picture, everything of it.
Okay. Well, did you offer to help him?
No, it's a commercial project. He's the one said he had all the money he needed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, whatever happened to his? Did he ever settle up with the police for them? Did he sue them when they tricked? You know, they hid the dope on him. Did he ever sue them for that?
Well, you want his number? I'll give you his number. I'll send you his number. You want to call him?
No, I called in for a station. You've been spending your time talking about him. Let's talk about it.
Well, I'm just saying, but I don't know his personal business.
Well, he should.
Okay,
but what does he know about housing? Forget that he was a criminal. What does he know about housing?
Well, we all lived in one.
Oh my God! You must be the ignorantest person. No wonder you only got 6 people listening.
Okay, I imagine. Okay, I mean, we all lived in a house. We all know what a house should feel like, what it should look like, what it should be built like. We don't have to be professional. I mean, I don't have to be a professional mechanic to know when my car is broke. Okay, so I don't understand that. You know, and listen, now, Don, I got to tell you, now I'm not gonna give you advice. Okay, I'm not gonna give you advice, but I would not spend my time. I'm just saying, listening to the dumbest guy on radio, TV, or podcast. I wouldn't spend my time. I would find something else to do in the morning. And I wouldn't even listen to that guy. That guy, if he's bat crazy, I would not. Okay, spend time talking to him, because that means that we two bat crazy people. I'm just saying I wouldn't do that. I would just, just ignore him like the plague. Okay? That's what I would do. Okay? That's what I would do. Anyway, moving on to some other things today. We'll finish that thing. Okay, something happened, and I'm going to show you my. I'm gonna give you a point here now. So we know. Okay, so what we figured out today was that the Democrats were the people who stopped the government from opening. Okay, we know that for the record nowadays. We know that. So all this stuff about what Trump did and what he didn't do and all that stuff, we know that was a lie. It was the Democrats who kept these poor folks without getting their SNAP. Okay? We know that now. Okay? So there needs to be no more conversation about it. I got Shamari figures who are mad about it. So that tell you, and he's a good Democrat. I like him though. But he's a Democrat still. He's going to follow the the playbook. Okay, not a problem. But here's something else. And listen, I'm only bringing this up because somebody's got to explain to me that these things always happen in a certain environment. There's a 10-year-old boy that was killed. And we had somebody killed in Montgomery too, I think Saturday. It's getting to the point now when we hear about somebody getting killed that it does not affect us in a negative way anymore. It is par for the course. I don't ever want to get so hardened, so familiar with the killing of our young people till it doesn't mean anything anymore. But a 10-year-old boy in Newark, New Jersey was killed in a mass shooting and 3 other people wounded. 2 people, including a 10-year-old boy. Well, actually, 3 people were killed. And that's nothing new. That's nothing. It happens all the time around here. So I did some research. 9 out of 10 places in this country where mass shootings are going on, where kids are killed. And again, the cities are ran by people who belong to the Democratic Party. And I'm asking myself, why is that? Is there a philosophy? Is there something in the Kool-Aid that everybody drinks? Or is there somebody on TV that is mesmerizing all the Democratic Party? Why is it that most of the cities, the majority of the cities where these things happen by cities that are ran by Democrats? Even though the state may be ran by a Republican, the cities where all of these things happen are ran by Democrats. The majority of these things happen. So why is that? I mean, why is it one group of people, or the people who say they are of that group, why is it that we have low education, more crime, illiteracy rates? Why is it that we have these things in places ran by Democrats? Cities ran by Democrats. There's gotta be something wrong with the environment. I mean, can somebody tell me why? I mean, I just like to know why. So, yeah, Obama did say, yeah, how much is enough? Then they worth millions now. But again, and most of those cities are ran by a Black Democrat, except in New York, where they got a Marxist communism now. They got up there in New York, but it was pretty much that to begin with. But why is that? And I don't think it's the people. I think it's the philosophy that they adhere to. You always said it was, yeah, and I believe it's culture. And so we Democrats have a culture that seems to be inconsistent with success. It just and we down. Listen, rather than get mad at rich people, maybe we should figure out how we should get rich. And we don't have to be. Everybody doesn't want to be rich, but we just want to be comfortable enough to pay the light bill, the gas bill, the rent, whatever it is we got to pay, the mortgage, whatever the case may be. But why is it every time just about nine times out of 10 when I hear somebody just got shot, it's going to be in Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, recently. But why is it that it's always 80% of the time, if not more, it's in a city ran by a Democrat? New York, St. Louis, Indianapolis. I mean, why is that? Is there something wrong with the way we think? Charlotte, North Carolina, last week, and I still don't know, for grown men to sit around and let another man cut a woman's neck, I will never understand that as long as I live. I'll never understand how grown men can sit there and watch somebody get their throat slit and you're on the bus. Bunch of y'all. Like what happened to that poor lady who came from what's that state of Zelensky's parade? Zelensky is he's in what's the name of that? I almost forgot the name of it now, and it's important. But Zelensky, what is that city? He's in Albania, is it? No, whatever it is. She came from there. She came here because she wanted to feel safe. She wanted to feel safe, so she came to America. She couldn't even sit on the bus in great old USA without having the throat cut with other men sitting around watching a guy do it. What happened to manhood in America? And y'all wondering why? Hegseth says we need the warrior ethos. And I'm going to tell you, there's no doubt in my military mind, had a bunch of Rangers been on that bus with that woman, that son of a bitch would have been killed. Okay? Ukraine, thank you very much. Appreciate that. He would have been dead for what he did. And that is the warrior ethos that Hegseth is trying to get back. Protect those that need protecting. And I never even use cuss words. But what I saw that man do was sit behind the bus on a woman and cut her throat who came here from Ukraine so she could be safe. And if this is the representation of men in Charlotte, North Carolina, I'm glad I'm gone from Fort Bragg. Because I'm telling you, there is something, and like Ronald Reagan said, in time and space that is messing with our nation. Something. I don't know what it is. We're watching our nation turn. We're watching our nation turn into something kind of like Montgomery. We're watching the metamorphosis of a changing of our nation. I mean, when we publicly talk to a guy, elect a guy who wants to be a communist, my Lord, what are we becoming? I mean, honestly, what are we doing? And we're going to look around one day and we're going to say, who changed the sign outside? Who changed the sign? It's culture. Where's its culture coming from? I don't know. Daniel, I heard that name. I heard about Daniel Perry, but I don't exactly remember what it was. But there's just something wrong with our country, and I don't know if the Democrats are winning the war or the battles. They seem to be winning the battles. The war is yet to be fought, but they seem to be winning. You know, Like the other day, I went to the minority GOP thing. I think we need to do with that minority GOP stuff. My good friend Mr. Green, if you're going to be a Republican, be a Republican. Don't say minority Republican. Just say be Republican. Like America, you're an American or you're not an American. African, Italiano, Mexican American. America means, here's what America means. But America means a lot of people getting together to believe in one thing. As a matter of fact, the Jamaicans got a saying: out of many, one. Okay. Is that there's something on the dollar bill. I think it means e plumas, something like that. I don't know what but it means out of many, one. But we keep wanting to be the many, and as long as you're going to be the many, we'll never ever see the cohesion that we need to see in a country like America in order to make it successful. We are not a cohesive body. And I really believe that the Democrats, I seriously believe that their job is to keep us unsolidified, keep us separate, keep reminding us the differences that we have rather than the things we have in common. Because that's the only way they can get people to follow them, is that you have to pit people against one another. They've been doing a pretty good job of doing it. As a matter of fact, they've been doing a pretty good job of keeping us apart. Okay, so how do we fix this? Or is it gone? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, that's a white guy word. E pluribus unum, whatever it is. Yeah, I forgot. I think it means out of many, one. Thank you very much, Rita. I like teachers who listen because they can always educate me in the shortcomings that I have, which are many, which are many. But that's okay. I'm working on it. I'm working on a lot of these things. And Terry Sewell wanted to actually keep the government shut down. Okay, she wanted to keep the government shut down. Okay. And again, I went to inside the school the other day. Outstanding school. And here's my thing with school. And okay, see, I'm right. I've been right about this for a long time. There was a study done in 1964. And I forgot the people's name, but they did it. I'll find it sooner or later. But they did a study about how to train kids in school. Okay. They did a study. And what they did was they found out that it really doesn't make any difference what kind of environment you come from at home. I mean, as long as it's reasonable, you're warm, you got something to eat, stuff like that. It's about expectation, not only of the parents, but more importantly, of the teaching apparatus that you send your kids to. And they did a for 2 years, they did this. They did a study where they took some kids out of the same class, and they left them in the same class. But they expected more out of them. They gave them extra homework. They asked them how they were feeling. They told them that they were smart. They expect, kind of like Valiant Cross. Valiant Cross doesn't take you down there and tell you how bad things are, how bad the world's going to be, and I know you're poor and blah 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 blah. It's ad nauseum what goes on in our public school system, not just in Montgomery, Alabama, across this nation. But they did the study, and they found out that the people they expected more from, they gave more responsibility to, in the same classroom as the other kids, all coming from similar backgrounds. The 6 kids in the class that they publicly or privately told them, you can do better than this. They did. Even though they all came from similar background. So somebody once said, was it Emory Farmer? Amy Farmer said something, and I don't know if he said this, if it came from him or whatever, but he said, it ain't what you expect. It is what you inspect. Okay? That's how you make sure things are going where they got to go. So our neighborhoods, if we had some neighborhood folks in the neighborhoods who went around and checking on everybody in every house in the neighborhood, seeing how they were doing and things of that nature, it'd probably be a better neighborhood. You know, we got to get to know the people who live in our neighborhood. I know there are people who've been living next door to each other for 10 years now and don't know each other. All you do, you come up on the same street, you turn in your driveway, they turn in their driveway, and my Lord, you go home and you still don't know who they are. You still don't know who they are. I know there was a story somebody gave me a couple of years ago. A guy got his grass was so high, the city kept on dinging him, charging him. Then somebody one day said, hey, let's go to the door and see why their grass is so high. Then they found out the guy had cancer. He couldn't cut the grass. Had somebody take the opportunity to go up to the person's house, besides the city just keep giving them tickets, so they can take his house from him, then maybe somebody would have known that he couldn't cut the grass. He had cancer. Okay? So I'm just saying, a lot of the situation that we find ourselves in America, it's our fault. It's our fault. We don't get to know one another. We don't talk to each other. I mean, you can go down the street, and one day I'm sitting in the store, right? And I know I'm a church member I go to church with. We go to the same church. I can't say I go to church with because she didn't know who I was for nothing in the world. But I knew who she was. And it's just amazing. That's why I don't really like big churches, because you go to church, and it could be snowing, ice and sleet outside. They leave a brother walking because they don't know who I am. But anyway, so much for that. I'm just thinking there's just something going wrong in time and space in our country. Okay. What am I doing besides talking? Now, that is a great idea. And I'm going to use the last 10 minutes to explain my program that we do every year. And I'm going to do that because I forgot to do it. You guys, I don't get the nation. Thank you, Gary. That's right. The Pygmalion effect. The Pygmalion effect. That's it. And that's what, look it up. You'll find that the reason our kids are not doing good in school because our teachers are not expecting them to. Okay. They don't expect them to. And the ones they do expect something from, they put them in private schools such as our magnet schools such as Macmillan and people such like that. Rather than bring the whole class up, we remove some of the best people in the classroom. We remove that and we put them someplace else. And now we got a bunch of people with the same ideology, with the same culture, with the same expectation. No wonder they're all doing good. But I'm here to tell you that if you put some of those kids in, if you leave some of those kids where they are, I think, because my schoolmate years ago ended up on the Michigan State Supreme Court. Now, I would say that, I probably could have ended up there too, but I know that's not true. I know that's not true. Anyway, let me get back to what we're going to do because I forgot to do it on Friday. Each year, we do something called, it's called Helping Hands Good Neighbor Award. And what we do is we ask people for money, and we go out 3 days before Christmas or 4 days before Christmas, and we find people who are in need, The deal is, though, you cannot tell them that you told us that you put them in for anything. You can't tell us that, because if you do, what happens is that if for some reason we don't get the money, then we can't do what we said we're going to do. So starting the 5th of December, we're going to take letters from people or email, either way it goes, and we are going to look at those letters, see who we can help and who we can, depending on how much money. Our goal this year is $10,000. Okay, I wanted 20, but we'll take 10. And what you do is, if you look at the screen, it's called Helping Hand Good Neighbor Awards. You put in some. Now, nobody can ask for money. Nobody can ask for the money. You have to put people in for it. You got to send me a letter, and I'll give you the address in next week. Send me a letter and tell us why this person deserves a helping hand. Okay? Doesn't have to be any big thing, anything like that. Maybe they just caught on bad times. That happens to all of us. Maybe things just didn't turn out right. Maybe they lost their job like I did in last December. Maybe, we don't know. Things happen to people. And so what we do, we came with this thing called Helping Hands Good Neighbor Award. And what we do is we take those letters that they don't know that the money is actually coming. They don't have a clue until we show up to help them. So you send money, and on the screen, there's many ways. There is a Facebook page called Helping Hands Good Neighbor Award, or you can go to my Facebook page, and we have a GoFundMe account, we have a Venmo account, and we have Cash App. And what we do is, I don't just take the money myself. Somebody goes with me. And 4 days before Christmas, no later than 3 days before Christmas, we go around and we knock on the door. They don't have a clue who we are. And we give them either $500 or $1,000, depending on how much money. And some people, believe me, they are in dire straits. Okay. So I really do have a passion when we can do it, is to get out there and help somebody that's catching hell, because we never know where we might find ourselves in this road of life. We never quite know. Okay. And most people who need help won't ask. They just won't. I went home. I told the story. I went home one year. I was headed to Honolulu, being stationed at Fort Shafter. Eventually it was at Fort Island. But so I came through South Bend. It was February 86. I came through South Bend. My mama's home, and she's sitting in the cold. And I said, why is mom sitting over there in the cold? Well, she don't want us to help her. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Your mother and daddy don't never want you to help them. You don't wait for them to ask for help. You just do what you got to do. Okay. And I went down to that place, to that gas company, whatever that problem, why that gas, and I took care of that real quick, fast, and in a hurry. I had no idea that she was sitting there in the cold. And I'm headed to a hot, warm Hawaii. And my brothers and sisters said, well, she didn't want us to help her. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say something. You don't ever ask them. They'll never say yes. They raised you, they worked their butt off, and now, yeah, at some point when you get a certain age, you need a little help. And so we did. So that's what I try to do every year. We find people who need a hand, and we help. That's what we do. When I say we, I mean all of us. I don't just ask money from you guys. I put money in myself too. Yeah, I don't just beg everybody else, because what kind of person would I be if I beg everybody else and don't give? Okay, that's what I call hypocrisy. So it's called Helping Hands. You go to GoFundMe, all these places you're going to do, and you can find it. GoFundMe, Facebook page called Helping Hands Good Neighbor Awards, and all these things. And we're asking you guys, and I got a 20 for 20. 20, it's called 20, at a minimum, if you can afford $20, we call that 20 for 20, $20 to help 20 families. That's what we're asking for. Just $20. If that's all you got, that's all you got, or whatever. But we'll take 1,000. I'm just saying, we'll take 1,000. But so all we're doing is asking you guys to help out, because we can talk the talk. We can talk the talk. But when it comes to walking the walk, well, that's where we get. And, $20 is not a lot of money. It's just not a lot of money. Okay. I mean, but we'll take 20. Now we'll take 10, and we'll take 1,000. We'll take 500. We'll take whatever you want to give. But on a couple of days before Christmas, when these people are down and out, don't think they got anything. And we was on TV a couple years ago, doing it at WSFA or WAKA, one of those TV channels. And they are surprised. One lady just started crying, and one lady had cancer and she died. But all we did was just hopefully I don't know, we couldn't help her with her cancer, but I sure hope we made a difference in her life. At least for a couple of moments anyway. I hope we made a difference. She knew that the world cared about her. And it breaks my heart that she did pass on. But we're all going to pass on, I guess, eventually. Well, not I guess. I mean, that's just the way life is sometimes. But anyway, so that's what we do every year. And all you have to do, you go to my Facebook page. You'll see. It says Helping Hands Good Neighbor Award. I believe. Let's see. I think you can find it right here. Let me see. Where is it at? There it is right there. Okay, there it is right there. Let me see if I can bring that over here right quick. Stop screen. Bring that screen over. Hold it. Bring that screw right here. And you'll see. And you'll know it when you see it because it will be right here. Okay, so let me see. Okay. Now, that's it right there. You'll see that. It'll be Helping Hand Good Neighbors Award. And you can click on the button there, and you will go to our page, and you can give if you want to, okay? Or you can go to Venmo, and it's Kevin-Elkins-21. I don't know where that 213 came from, but it's 21, okay? Or you can do Cash App, and my number is 241-334-241-9998. And thanks for the people who are already given to us a little while. You know, we appreciate that. And we'll start taking letters, I think the last week of December. Okay. By that time, I'll see exactly where we are going with this. And we've been doing it for 9 years. 9 years we've been doing this. And I do appreciate and you've been doing it for 9 years. You've been doing it now. What's that? It don't take a village to raise your children, but it does take a village. It does take a village to live together, but it don't take a village to raise your kids. I'm sorry. I'm sticking with that one because if you take care of your kid, you can go ask the village. Okay, so you can go ask the village. You don't have to. I don't believe in that village thing, but we are obligated to look out after our neighbors. But our neighbors not obligated to look out after our kids, except only as human beings, and we want them to do the right thing. But too many, you see what happened with the village thing. You see what's going on in our country right now with our kids. We're killing each other, fighting each other, joining. I mean, you see, the village thing ain't working. Okay, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds like a good. It sounds like a good a thing to do, but it ain't. No, it's not. It's not really working. Okay, I'm just saying it's not working at all. So anyway, that's what we do, and you'll find the Good Neighbor Award. We've been doing it. The matter of fact, former mayor yesterday's going to donate to it, like he does every year. As a matter of fact, I haven't asked the new mayor. He's a Democrat, yeah, I know, but I'll hit him up and see what he says. Okay, so much for that. And so if you want, and you can always call me 241-9998. That's my number. Give us a call or the text number that I put on here is actually a number too. It's a number you can reach me to. So that's what we're trying to do. No one person can do everything. Okay. No one person can do everything that needs to be done. Okay. And again, this is the way you can help. No one person. You can't. I can't. The whole city couldn't take care of everybody. Okay. That needs help. But my motto is you can't help everybody, but we can help somebody. And that's what we try to do every year, this time of year. Yeah, we like to do it every day. We just don't have it. We just don't have it. We just can't do it every day because we got to survive too. But we do take some time out and find those people. And so if you know somebody that's having a tough time, due to no fault of their own, not if they're a crackhead. I don't want to do the crackhead thing because unfortunately I can't fix all the crackheads. but somebody who's working hard, going to work, trying to make livings meet, things getting hard. It's getting hard out there for everybody. Starting the last week of the month, I'll give you the address next week, and you'll be able to send letters into that people, and you can always help us. Now, you can help us by going to the and to the people who already donate. We thank you very much, and hopefully we'll get plenty more. But I guess it's time for me to go. It's time for me to go. Time for me to go. Time for me to go. So, what else is going on? Oh, that it? That it for the day? All right. And I want to thank Rondé Mitchell for showing up today, telling about his dilemma with Mr. Boyd, trying to put him on the board. And listen, it's his appointment to make. Okay, it's his appointment to make. What are you doing besides talking? Man, for years, I've been doing things. But you know what? Somewhere in the Bible says, don't brag about the things you do, because if you want man's favor, then that's what you get. But if you want God's favor, you do these things in private. You do these things in private. So I don't tell everybody what I do. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to do much with, but I do what I can. And I think most of us do what we can for people. Okay. So my motto is this: is everybody gives a little, it helps a lot. All right. So anyway, man, I'm feeling pretty good today. So don't forget our sponsor today of our show. It is I got it right here someplace. I got it right here somewhere. I know it's here. I know it's here someplace. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay. Wait. I know where it's at. Anyway, One Stop Wireless, 334-320-2988, 3445 Atlanta Highway, on the corner of Atlanta Highway and Atlanta Highway and Coliseum Boulevard. There's a Shell gas station right there. That's where they are. Got a phone that you have that's in a drawer? They can turn it on for you. Okay. You need wireless internet? They sell that too. Wireless internet runs $35, I think $45 a month, and you can take it anywhere with you in the country, wherever you want to take it. There is a setup fee for it initially, but after that, it's $45 a month, and you can take that box anywhere with you. Okay, $45 you're kidding me. So you don't have to go. You don't have to go to AT&T. You don't have to go to any of these places. They can hook you up with wireless internet. $45 a month. I actually think it's $35 a month, but I'll say 45 because I can't remember. Okay. So anyway, see those guys. Ask for the folks over there. They are really good people. You got to, again, I can't overemphasize it. If you got a phone in your house, been there forever, and you just got it in the drawer because you stuck it to the other guy, well, they can get that phone back on for you. Okay. So you already got a phone. Okay. And again, their number is 334-320-2988. 334-320-2988. Trust me, it's a good place to do business. I've been with those guys now for about 10 years, and they always do me right. They always do good. And, it's never a hassle. If you got a problem with the phone, they will take care of it. Okay? Joe. Okay, Joe, it's too late for conservatives to pretend they have standards. Well, I will tell you something there, Mr. Joe. Most of the people who actually give are conservatives. That's just the way it is. Most people give mostly are conservative people. Anyway, we shall see you tomorrow. The good Lord says the same. Have a great day and all the rest of that good stuff. Don't forget Helping Hands, Good Neighbor Award, whatever you can give, $10, $5, $20, whatever you can give us, take us, and we'll take you on our journey. We'll take you on our journey as we your gifts to people who are in need a couple of days before Christmas. Anyway, have a great day. Don't forget, it is not the falling down that gives you the strength. It is the getting up each and every time you do. So my word for you is keep getting up. That is where the strength is. Every time you get up. Don't fall and stay down. Fall down and get right back up. Good morning to you. What's my word of the day? I forgot my lesson of the day. But I'll tell you that tomorrow. Bye.
And the joy you make your